I just got back from shopping. Little change of location, by the way, because it's 33 degrees in my room and it's unbearable, so I moved downstairs. So these are the materials I got for my Regency stays. This fabric was called Elinor, and I recalled reading that in the Jane Austen and fashion book that I own. So I'm just going to take this for the inside of the stays because it has this. It's sturdy, but it's not too thick, and I like the quality. I'm going to use 2 layers of this. And this was... I bought 1 meter and it was $5 all in all. So it's okay, it's 100% cotton. I think Elinor suggests that it has something to do with linen, but this is not from linen. It's cotton, so I'm going to take it. It's all about the compromise these days. This beautiful fabric I have been flirting with for quite a while. It's sort of cream colored. It's a 100% cotton fabric, but it was called patch print for some reason. I have no idea what that's supposed to tell me, seriously. And also this pattern, it's woven into the fabric, so there wasn't any printing involved. You can actually see how it's woven in, so I don't know why it was declared to be some kind of print fabric. This was 20 euros the meter, and it's a compromise in the sense that I wanted to have a plain fabric, but this is just so lovely, so I'm going to use it for the underwear. And I'm not quite sure regarding the pattern and historical accuracy, but it's really pretty. So, yeah. This is the cord that I'm going to use for cording. I got it at a craft shop, and it's pretty sturdy. And this was $3.20. So all in all, the materials cost me $20 and 20 cents, I think. And I can use some of the thread that I still have that is 100% cotton. So this is going to be an all cotton stays thing. Yay! So every piece of the pattern I'm going to draw on the fabric twice. You're going to see what that's all about later. And this is the whole thing. Hi Kiki. She had to have a cameo. She insisted. Yeah, this is the inside part. It's the Elinor fabric, and I made the pattern twice. Now the same thing is going to happen to the outer fabric. And the fabric with the pattern for the outside is done too. Another light is fading and I'll go do something else. Alright, I know the lighting's bad and I know the background isn't too good, but I wanted to explain this. So I'm pinning these 2 layers together, as you can see here, and I'm going to attach them here. And that is what that looks like. And I'm going to do this with all the parts until I have 2 identical versions of those stays. And those are the 2 identical pieces that I was talking about. And I really like this Elinor stuff, and I just now noticed that there's a stain. There's another one. So that must have happened before I bought it, because I guess I didn't really check the fabric on floors like that. Anyway, now I have to wash it. I'm going to cut off these bits first. It doesn't fade as much as I thought, so I hope it will be okay. And of course I forgot the most obvious thing ever. I should have washed the fabric before I started cutting and sewing and everything. Especially with cotton. It's usually the first thing you have to do, and I feel so stupid. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do now. And that's what that looks like. I don't know yet which one is going to go on the outside. I guess I'm just going to start and see which looks better in the end. They both have imperfections, and for some reason now there's a red spot here instead of blue one. I Have no idea how that happened, and the back parts here didn't turn out so well. For some reason the outer fabric is a little bit bigger than the inner fabric. It might have been because I had to sew it round here and that didn't quite work out, I don't know. Yeah, so now I'm going to put them together. So this is how I attach the two to one another. They sort of fit. I think I might be able to compensate the, especially the back part here. This side is a bit bulky because it seems that it turned out like a few millimeters bigger than the other one. Guess that's what happens. I think I might be able to compensate with the cording, so let's see how that goes. I already started with some of the cording and I deviated from my original plan. You can see I had intended some cording to be here and I didn't do that. Instead I chose to kind of reinforce these seams. And those seams, round seams for some reason, are really difficult. And I went with only 3 of those. In my original plans there would have been 3 on this side of the seam alone. Now there's only 1, and I think even more on this side, so it would be 6. But I chose to go with only 3 because it felt like it was going to be sufficient. I'm not going to do any here, at least. I'm not planning to at this point. And I changed my mind. I wanted the other side to be the outside fabric, but for some reason on the other side the fabric was all bulky, like it changed shape or was a little too big. And this side was meant to be the inside, but here it's not so bulky. I mean, it's a little bit because I didn't flatten it. But it's all, you can stretch it and there's not going to be any big wrinkles or just bumps or anything, so I'm going to take this one for the outside, despite the stain here. I think I'm just going to cover it when I finish the whole thing. And here, this is how I'm doing the cording, so I already made a seam here. And then I put the cord in between the white linen layers. Oops. And I attach it with needles and I'm going to sew here. And this is surprisingly sturdy. I've started to become a big fan of cording. The cording turned out okay, I think, and now I'm going to start with the gussets and then some more cording around them. So I'm going to make a small V-shape cut here, and then I'm going to add 2 little cuts more so it kind of looks like a Y. And yeah, I'm going to show you the rest when I finally muster the courage to cut the fabric. And now I'm going to pin it to the other side and make identical cuts there. This is how wide I want the gussets to be. I'm going to cut these parts out more evenly and I'm going to use them as a pattern for the other gussets. And I'm going to make them a bit wider than the needles go here, because this part I'm going to wrap in, and also down here where I did the little cuts in the fabric I'm going to wrap that down, and then I'm going to make a seam. And for the gussets I'm going to use 1 layer of the white fabric and 2 layers of the cream colored fabric, like 1 in the back, 1 in the front. And the gussets are going to be a little bit more flexible than this part because it's only going to be 3 layers here and this is 4 layers here, and then there will be cording around here. This is almost annoyingly tricky, so I really hope this is going to work out because that was just so unpleasant. And I already messed up here. If you can see it, I had to repair the fabric because I cut too deep. It's on the inside, so I hope it's not going to be that bad, but yeah, I'm not too happy about that. Unintentional, but it works to explain this. So this gusset is still complete with the needles. This one is already completely attached. And you can see here, this is where the little triangle shape bit would have been. You could see it here if this wasn't the gusset where it completely messed up with the length. So I just wrapped it in, made a seam, and then I made these rather irregular stitches. They should be more even. This one really didn't turn out so well. In order to cover it up, I saw this somewhere. You're going to get a bunch of links in the description box to see all the websites that gave me my inspiration. Then here's the gusset with 2 cords, and here is the next gusset with 4 cords. So now I'm going to make all these look like the one on the left. Here you see the gusset transformation from here to here. This is nice. So I did these, they give the cup shape. I'm not done on this side yet. I'm not really happy with how the gussets turned out here. I don't know why the fabric is so bulky. I think I messed up somehow. See, it's kind of not symmetrical here anymore. But I got bored. Sometimes I just want to do something else, so I already started giving the thing some binding, and I'm going to do that for a bit, and I can always do the rest later. So the bias binding here is pretty much finished. The lower part isn't finished yet. I made these, only 2 of them though. They kind of form cups in a way, so they make sure that your girls stay where they're supposed to be. So, and then for the front I put in 2 cords here. And now what I did here, I can show you on this side. I cut the inside fabric a little shorter, and I'm going to wrap the more cream color fabric in like this. This is difficult with my left hand. And I'm going to make a seam here then. So that's basically what I did on this side. I just wrapped the cream colored fabric into the white fabric, and now I'm going to make a seam here, and I'm going to add some more cording. And I bought exactly 4 meters of cording, and this is exactly the amount I used in the end. I think that's pretty good. This worked out really well. Yeah, and then I'm going to make some holes. Okay, I have to be a little creative again. Since this is already closed up, it's kind of tough to get the cording inside, so I pushed a wire through, and I used these needles here so that it stays in this channel and it doesn't. It's really tough once it's inside to kind of push it to this side, so I made sure it stays where it's supposed to be. And I attached it to the cord, and now I'm going to pull, and I hope it worked on the other side. I'm not so sure if it's going to work here. Yeah. Okay, now I'm having a problem because I can't do this with one hand. Alright, I got it in, and I'm going to pull. Yay! Let's just hope it doesn't get lost somewhere in there. Oh damn it, this is shitty with one hand. I need a camera person. Ha, succeeded. I think I need a better tripod. The one I have doesn't allow for certain camera angles, so yeah. So that's done. I already closed it up here with the binding, and now I'm going to close this part. I'm going to cut it clean, and I took a bit of fabric, kind of like this, really long bit of that exact fabric, and I already put some needles in, and I'm going to let it sit for a while like this so that it adapts the shape, so it's not going to be so tough to put it on here. And then I'm going to make holes. Alright, so those are finished now, and I just had the best idea ever. So this is where I'm going to put the little holes, but first of all, the big holes. You can see I marked it with some darker yarn here. And I already made one circle, and I'm going to cut a hole, and then I'm going to use this circle that I've just sewn kind of as a guideline, and then I'm going to make a seam, and it's going to be the hole so I can attach the straps basically. And I just had the best idea ever, because I really have a hard time making this symmetrical, and in this one a cent piece just fits into it barely, and I'm going to take the cent piece and I'm just going to put this here, and I'm just going to sew around it. That's pretty much the easiest thing ever, and I'm going to make sure that they're all the same shape and size basically, and I'll show you when I'm finished. So that's the holes I made, and I started on this side. For some reason this one is way bigger than those. You can see they get, like the circle around gets ever smaller, and on this side it's really not that big anymore. I don't know how that happened, because I measured them all exactly the same. Maybe I started pulling the strings harder here, I have no idea. So anyway, I'm going to make small holes here where the needles are so that I can close the thing. And then I'm going to start with the straps, and then I'll pretty much be done. Hooray! So these are the eyelets, and those two especially got way too big, but it's still going to work, so it's okay. And this is the whole thing, and here I've already tried out how I want the straps to be, so I'm going to do those, and then this will be finished. And this is going to be a pretty long video. This is the inside bit of the straps. It's attached to 2 layers of the outside fabric, so when I cut it I'm going to cut both sides of the outside fabric in one, which saves time and makes sure that it's symmetrical. Mission accomplished! Officially done. And this is what the straps look like. Looks nice, but I have to say I can see why they stopped doing the hand stitching with the eyelets. You can see that especially here. They're already starting to lose shape. Yeah, so I did it for historical accuracy, but I can see why they started using the steel ones. Looks nice, doesn't it? And it fits really well under my dress. I already checked. And that's that. I hope you had fun and we all learned something. Thanks for watching. Bye.